Gail Estella, survival politics. Where pain becomes purpose, no fear, no remorse. Say it again. Through the pain, through the fire, through the worst of my day, we made it. I found purpose in the breaking. Right there. Survival isn't a whisper. I know. Go if you listen, you survive. Still breathing, still alive. God never wastes the hurting. Every chapter had a rolling time.
Gail Estella, and welcome to the Gail Estella Survival Podcast.
Where pain comes purpose. No fear, no remorse. Survival isn't a whisper. Through the worst of my day. Rhythm breakers and no whisper.
Hello, everyone. This is Gail Estella, and welcome to the Gail Estella Survival Podcast. Here's where we turn pain into purpose, because survival isn't a whisper, it's a roar. And before we get started, there are a few things I need from you. The first thing is, will you please go in, like, share, and subscribe to the Gail Estella Survival Podcast? Secondly, where are you tuning in from? I'm here in Aiken, South Carolina. Put in the comment box below where you're tuning in from. Are you following me on all of my social media platforms? If not, please do so at Gail Estella. And lastly, Do It All by Gail Estella. Have you purchased your copy yet? If not, it's not too late. You can go to trueboundpublishingcompany.org, Amazon.com, or anywhere books are sold. My guest for this evening. I met her maybe 30 or 35 years ago when I first moved to Rock Hill. And I always admired her as a person. I admired her professionalism, how she handled business, how she moved. I just thought she was a great person. Me being into a new city and having someone in the same industry to emulate. And then something happened to the both of us. We both became angel moms, and that brought our connection even closer. So we're going to talk about her grief journey tonight, where she is now, and how God has helped her survive it through it all. I'm going to bring in Mrs. Karan Shabazz.
Hi, Gail.
How are you doing?
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I said something about us both being angel moms. And that's a club that I wouldn't wish any parent to have to be a part of. But unfortunately, we are.
Yes, we are. And I like that, Angel Club. I like that.
Yeah. And I'm going to give a shout out to Flowers Boyce, because that's what she always said. Once her son Jared passed, she called mothers that have lost their children angel moms. So we're all angel moms. Yes. Before we get started, I want you to call out your son's name, because we want to call him by name so the audience will know exactly who he is.
Jamal Shabazz.
Jamal Shabazz. So how old was Jamal when he passed?
34.
And how long has it been now, Karan? This
year will be 10 years.
10 years.
Don't seem like it, but yeah, it's been 10 years. It's 2016.
2016. So when you say 10, it doesn't seem like it. What does that mean to you?
It just, that time has went by so fast. And, even though people may think, 10 years, that's a long time, but it's a very short time in healing.
It is. So looking at Karan Shabazz today, 10 years later, than the Karan Shabazz when Jamal first passed, how big of a difference do you see between that person then and the person you are now?
Well, now today, I realized that God will allow you to be happy again. Because when that happened, I wasn't happy, of course. And it took me a long time to realize that I can be happy again, even with the loss. It was difficult to do anything that you felt like, you're laughing and that one you love so much is gone. Oh, you're not supposed to be happy. But through trusting in him and then I would like for everybody to know too, you don't understand. You don't understand. You're not going to understand everything in life, but you have to trust God through it. And I would do my talking just like we talking now. I would talk to him and tell him I don't understand. I'm not going to pretend like I do, but I trust you. And if you trust him through it, you will get to a happy place again.
Yeah. Yes, I like that. Tell us about Jamal.
Jamal was, you see how I smile when I see Jamal. Everybody felt like that was my twin, and I do too. Out of my three sons, I always felt like Jamal looked more like me. He was such a humble spirit. Anybody know him, loved him, because he was the type of person, he would give you the shirt off his back. He was just always humble and walked quietly. Now, some of his friends may say, oh, who she's talking about, because he may have been different with them. But the Jamal I know and that I remember was always humble, always quiet. And, me and the other boys, we could be in the den or something. He was always to himself as well. He always would go up in his room, but he was just a humble spirit. He
How
was
do you pass?
great guy.
A great guy.
Great guy.
Like it. And I remember. Yes.
He was.
Very respectful as well.
And that was one of the things that was so hard for me, Gail, was that why him? He's such a good person. He loved everybody. I just couldn't understand it. People say, a lot of times good people go first. Even with the age, I'm like, he was young, but then I learned, your daughter was even younger.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's like my son, I have one of my sons, he said, Mom, everyone is not meant to be old when they pass. And it helped me.
Yeah, I remember telling
he
you
helped
that.
me speaking that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So how did that phrase help you?
It's just for me to know that he loved him just like I did, because that was his brother. I know he wouldn't, and he studies, he's a very spiritual person. And for him to say everyone is not meant to be old when they pass, it just resonated with me that, I don't know if he read it somewhere or if he, God gave him that to tell me at the time, but it helped me. It helped ease my pain a little bit. Because, Gail, we grow up thinking that you always hear God give you 70. 70 is something in the Bible that talks about 20 scores plus 10, 3 scores plus 10, and each one of those are 20 plus the 10 is 70. That's where that comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And you just feel like that was too soon. That was way too soon. But everybody don't get to 70. I want to say I have a mom that will be 105 years old this month on the 27th. She may have gotten some of his years.
Yeah. Oh.
Someone in your family may have some of Asia's years.
Yeah. My father just passed at the age of 98. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And my mother's 88. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, and I thought about it, and I'm like, he gives the grace somewhere else. That angel he needed.
Mm-hmm. So you say he gives the grace somewhere else.
To someone else.
So yeah, to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean because they left us in our eyes too soon that they didn't have grace bestowed upon them? Is that what you're saying?
Well, sometimes the way we look at death, Gail, they may have had more grace. When we think about heaven and we think about somebody, can you really go to heaven too soon? Babies pass away. Can they really go to heaven too soon in the life that we're living right now?
Yes.
That's a question everybody should ask themselves with death. Because we all, everybody's like they want to stay here forever. When do you want to go to heaven? You know what I mean? I feel like when God calls me, I'm ready.
And you're ready.
I'm ready.
So, Karen, do you ever think, and I think that sometimes when you said something about the way life is now, and you hear so much bad things or so many bad things happening in the world today. And, I listen to the news about young ladies being kidnapped, killed, raped, and I always say, God, I miss Asia immensely, but she's exempt from some of the things that we're experiencing here now on earth. And not only is she exempt, she's with you. She's in heaven.
That's right. That's right. That's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
When we look at death, we grieve because, of course, we never want to let that person go. And that's really selfishness on our part. Just like with my mother, 105. How long do you expect her to live? You don't want to let her go. She got to go to heaven.
Yeah.
So we just have to understand, and a lot of things that happen in life too that we don't understand, especially when it comes to some of the things you just said, and babies that pass away. It's always been hard for me to deal with the younger ones, and that's how I came up with the concept of, if they're in heaven and what we read about heaven and what we know in our mind about heaven, was that so wrong for them to go to heaven before we thought they should go?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So basically, what I hear you saying, that knowing that he's in heaven provides a certain type of solace for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too. Me too. How did he die? Do you mind telling us how did he pass?
Yeah, he passed away. His death certificate says asphyxiation, which means drowning.
Mm-hmm.
And where his body was found, there was water there. And I didn't even get to actually view his body because they said that it was unrecognizable because he had been in the water. And I'd just like to say too that a lot of people, I feel in the community may think, okay, he committed suicide or he did that. Did he do that to himself? Well, I had investigators, and I can't say that I would feel he would do anything to himself. He was going through some things before he passed. He was going through some mental things that we may think are talking outside of himself. I'm going to say that we may think, oh, is that person, because mental illness is real.
Yeah.
It's real. And, you don't know. That's why it's so important that we don't jump to conclusions or judge someone. It's always been said that, and I just kind of want to touch on this just a little bit.
Go ahead.
Where people will say, well, if a person did that to themselves, they're going to hell. Now, who's been to hell and came back and told somebody that? Or heaven and said, oh, this is what. We should not say things like that because, first of all, God is most merciful. He knows what a person is going through mentally when we don't. And if something like that was to happen and they did something God knows where that person's mindset was, or what they were thinking. And I believe in the spirits of different things and jinn and things that could come against people and attack people. But you can't say where that person's gonna go because you don't know where that mind was.
Yeah.
Only God knows that.
Oh,
And in
God.
His grace and mercy, He will still take them into the kingdom of heaven.
And basically, if if we're speaking about the Bible says, I can't remember which book of the Bible it says, but nothing should separate us from the love of
From
God.
God, right?
Nothing. Once we
Nothing.
give our lives to God, nothing shall separate us from the life of God.
And that's why I'm at peace with it, Gail, because I
And
know that my son knew who he was.
and the only way we don't make it is that we haven't professed and believed in our hearts or confessed with our mouth that Jesus Christ is God. I mean, Jesus Christ is Lord, and we're saved. We've invited Him into our life. So that misconception, I remember hearing that for a long time ago, because even I remember them saying, insurances don't pay off if a person commits suicide, or they're going to hell.
Well, for the record, his insurance paid off.
Yeah, and then, death by suicide. It's what the terminology is now, death by suicide. So you said his body was unrecognizable, and you weren't able to see.
I wasn't able. No,
So how long had he been missing, Karen?
It was like a week. Actually, the Tuesday that he didn't show up, he was supposed to go to one of his daughters. She had something at school. He didn't show up at that school program that she had. And at that time, I knew, because he talked to her and the mother the night before, I knew there's something wrong. He didn't show up to work. He was running the shop in York at the time that we had in York. And my other son was working up to Abdul with him. And I was calling him during the day, did he come to work? And he didn't. So that same day, I went down to Chester looking for him and couldn't find him. So I couldn't even report that day. I had to report the next day. Oh. But I knew something was wrong that he didn't show up.
Yeah. Is that where he lived, in Chester?
At that time. No, where he was actually with me at that time, living with me, but he visited the baby's mom and his the baby's mom and his daughter that weekend.
Okay. How was that week for you? You say you waited 2 days before you contacted law enforcement?
No, that second day, I couldn't do it that same day because it said it hadn't been 24 hours. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't report that he was missing. So the next morning, I went and reported. And I did put out there for someone that may have saw him and he was wondering, and he looked it like he was delusional or something was wrong. I put it out there that he left and he does not have his medication.
Okay.
And I think people from that maybe just assumed that, he did that himself. But there was an investigation done. And if anybody remember, it rained that week. And we were out looking for him, but the investigators came back and said they didn't see any foul play because of the rain. And if anything was there, it would have washed it away. But, I just had to turn it over to God at that time because I couldn't deal with it.
Yeah.
But it was a whole week. And they had to send the body to,
Let's go back before you move forward. Mm-hmm. That week that you're looking for Jamal.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us what was going through your head. What were you experiencing? Were you able to sleep? Mm-hmm. Tell us, how was that for you?
I probably actually did more praying that week than I ever have. Praying that he was safe, praying that somebody would find him, or, just asking God to bring him home. And I want to say that this stood out with me because I had to tell myself in the end that you was praying for God to bring him home. But I was talking about my physical home. And God said he was bringing him home within.
Yes.
But I prayed and I prayed, and I tell you, people were saying, oh, somebody saw him in your, they just don't know how that, they gave me hope. That wasn't Jamal. You know, there were different things. I went to church that Sunday to the well, and someone told Pastor Revere that, you know, my son was missing and they had found a body just like really across the street from where his friend's house was. It's right across the street. And it was just too close for comfort for me. And I just felt I had to wait that whole weekend for that autopsy to be done. And that was the hardest weekend of my life. I would never want to go through, or anybody to go through that. But he prayed with me, Pastor Ravel, and he just, you know, that Monday is when I found out that it was him.
It was him.
Because there were a couple people missing at the same time.
Yeah, and I remember that time. That was a sad time. That was a really, really sad time.
It really was.
I would imagine just about everybody in Rock Hill was praying for you
yeah.
at that time.
They called me. The investigator did touch base with me on that Saturday and said, I know you're going to hear that a body was found. I want to let you know we can't say that that's your son. But, you know, the autopsy has to be done first. But he wanted to give me heads up on it. But that's who it was. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't there going to try to go see his body in that unidentifiable condition. Because
and that was going to be my next question. Yeah. So you were okay with the decision, and you're still okay with the decision that you didn't go view his body.
I am, because they gave me enough. The first thing he asked was, did your son have a tattoo on his arm? And he had a clipper that he had gotten on his arm, the cord and a clipper. And because 17 years of community service for him. And he went on to become an instructor as well. So he was an instructor in the school.
So tell everyone what type of work he did. What profession was he in?
Yes, he was a master barber stylist. Master barber. I won't say stylist because he didn't do any hairstyling. He did the barbering, and he loved it. He was the first one out of the three sons that knew he couldn't work for nobody else and he was going to work for himself. Yes. And he came to school after he completed the 9th grade. And he was graduating with me and high school at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He did it like a career development. Yeah. And a lot of people don't know that they can do that because it's not something that I really advertise. But once a person completes the 9th grade and go to the 10th, they can actually start in school. And
when I said about your professionalism, you were innovative a long time ago. You were doing some of the offerings, some of the same. What's the word I'm looking for? You were offering some of the same, and he may have to cut this. I'm just going to say, let me cut that because I can't think of the word. 243, 24, 58. You were innovative a long time ago when I talked about your professionalism. You were always ahead of what we're doing now. Mm-hmm. Because now kids can go to high school. They have ATC and Rock Hill. Right. They can go to cosmetology school while in high school. But you were doing that a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. I was.
Yeah.
On the job, what they call
OJT.
That wouldn't be OJT. But okay. It's a career development.
Okay.
Right. It's career development. And I probably need to go into schools and let them know that I offer that.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So he was a barber, a master barber. He competed.
He did. He competed, won some competitions. Um, I also became an instructor. And so he helped me instruct in the school. And I'm talking about awesome. I had one guy, he was a foreign student that came to school. We call him Koo. And he came to me one day, he was watching Jamal cut. And he came to me and said, he has mastered the tape line. He has mastered it. And because I always tell students, hey, you can give a great cut, but if you don't get that tape line right, it's an okay cut.
Right.
You can mess up a haircut and give a great tape line.
Yes, nice and sharp and
Right.
clean.
Because that's the first thing you lead him with, that tape line.
Yes.
And he said, Jamal mastered, and he did. He mastered that tape line.
Mm-hmm. And so when they realized that, or when you realized that it was Jamal, take us on that journey.
That it was Jamal.
His body.
That was Jamal. Just of course, a breakdown, crying. It's like I have to, a little bit talk about a brother that came to my house. And I want to say this because of God's preparation and how you can look back at things and say, why did that happen? I had a brother that came to my house, my brother James, and he said to me, he grabbed me on both. It's almost like I thought he brought the corner, but he didn't. He grabbed me on my arms and said, God has been good to you. And I said, yes. He said, God has been good to you. I said, yes. He said it a third time, and I broke down crying because it was almost like he was preparing me for that, what I was going to get in just a few minutes, that it was Jamal. So when the man knocked at the door and I went to answer the door, it was him. And I sat at the table and he asked a question, did your son have a tattoo? And I just broke down. But when I came to realize, my brother was gone. My brother was a messenger at that time. He let me, he helped kind of shield what I was going to get. And I asked him later on, did you bring the coroner to the house? Did he come with you? He said, no. No, it was God that sent him to do that. And it's just amazing how he will put things in place for you to help you, and you really not realize it till after the fact. There were things that I saw that happened during that time that I realized it was God. It was God. So he's always there. I'm going to say this. He's always there for us. He never leave us. Like they say, leave you or forsake you. He doesn't. You just got to look back at it and see that was him.
And pay attention. Yeah. Yeah. And pay attention. How was life after? Let's go back to the mental health. The mental health aspect. How important is it, especially for Black men? Because we do know that suicide rates are out of the the rates are high now. Young Black men, ages, I think the statistics have 14 through 25. How fast they're growing. And again, we're not saying this, that was Jamal's case because you said it wasn't. But when we're talking about mental health, the mental health aspect with our Black men, our Black boys, our Black young men, how important is it that we recognize it? We offer a safe place for them to land, to be able to tell us what it is they're feeling, and not criticize them in the process. Because a lot of times our young men are made to feel like they have to be so strong that they can't, they can't show emotions. They can't show any type of weakness. They can't show how they really feel. So they go through living life lying to others while they're hurting and dying on the inside. So what do we supposed to do as a society and as parents to young black men? What's our role?
Wow. And going back to with Jamal, it's like me saying, I really don't know. I really don't, but I know God does, and I know that again, He knows the mental state, and that's really where I leave that. Because again, I do believe in things coming against you, spirit wise, jinn, whatever. And a lot of people might not know what I mean when I say jinn, but that's like the same things as this evil force or whatever. But with that rate that you just said, it's like you used to not hear that among us, you know. But it's so much go against us, where it's so much harder for our teens and our men. It's so much harder for them. And I want to say that people shouldn't feel like, when it comes to counseling, when it comes to, as parents, like you're saying, as parents, we need to listen. We need to listen for, what are they saying? Do they need some help? Can I be the one that someone comes to and talk to? We have to understand it's okay to have counseling. Stop thinking that counseling is for somebody crazy. Counseling is for me and for you. It's for all of us. It's like, to me, a cancer. When you go through something that's hard for you and you never get it out, it is going to affect you some kind of way.
It's going to continue to
mentally,
fester.
physically. We have to understand, first of all, let's do counseling. Let's talk to counselors. Or to that person that is just going to be between you and them, where you can get those things out. But it is so important that we deal with those things. To me, that's the surface. That's where it first starts. And a lot of times we holding all that stuff in, and we're not. Just like this platform. This is a wonderful platform that you have, Gail.
Thank you.
And I commend you for it, because everybody can't do this. Everybody can't do it. And it gives you a way of avenue to vent and to tell your story. But it is so important that we listen, that we hear when a person is having some issues, and that we take the time to talk to them, and maybe direct them in somewhere. And I feel like with your platform, you need to have those advocates that you can send people to. Because I wouldn't have a problem being on someone's couch. Let me make that perfectly clear on here, that it's nothing wrong with being sitting and talking to someone.
And you said something before. You said you're not crazy. I don't know how it is in the Caucasian culture, but in our culture, we are so quick to call a person crazy. And really, that word should be taken out of our vocabularies when we're referring to a person's mental health.
Right. So it just made me think of a guy that they killed that had some mental health challenges. And it's just so sad. People get killed and not get that help or that compassion from who we have that's in control of things. Give them that same compassion that you would give somebody that looked like you, an opportunity to go get that help that they need. It's just so unfortunate, but that's something that we really, as a community, we need to get together with counselors, and we need to have them be a part of this platform where they can go to, people can go to, even ones that you think are not having problems. They're having problems too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think we all have something that's going on with us.
Right.
Yes.
It's
So
just some
once,
people can deal with it better than others.
mm-hmm.
And
Or some people try to deal with it, choose to try to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So once you realize that the body was Jamal's body, and you had to get acceptance with that, what did that acceptance look like for you?
Well, honestly, it was like days. It was like God carrying me. And that morning of his funeral, I remember asking him to help carry this family through what we were going through. And I promise you, if anybody, because it was like standing room only, I guess, at his funeral. I mean, people were just from all over there. And I sat there in the front with my other two sons, and not a tear fell from my eyes at that time. It was just like being in a dream. And I walked out when it was time to go, and I recognized some people, and I remember Pastor Revere having to stop people at the door trying to get me in. It was just so many people, but it was just, he carried me through it. It was a dream. It was like I don't know. I can't how to describe it, but I know he carried me. It was like an out of body experience. Because when I first was told it was him, and because of the condition of the body, he couldn't be embalmed. He could none of that. So, and that wouldn't have been what I was seeking anyway. But he had to be buried within those 3 days. He said, "Hey, we're gonna, have to keep the body on ice. You gotta do this quickly." I remember I was told that Monday, that Tuesday morning, I found a gravesite. And that Wednesday, I had asked Pastor Revere to do the eulogy for me, and I called him to do it that Thursday when the funeral home director said, "Hey, we need to do this as soon as possible." I had to call him back and say, "Could we do it Wednesday?" So it was learning it was him on Monday, burying him on Wednesday. Tuesday, finding the gravesite, buried him on Wednesday. No time.
No time to feel.
Mm-mm. 3 days he was in the ground.
After that third day, what did that look like for you?
It was because of the things that I felt. It was hard, of course. I stayed in the house. I felt like I couldn't really go anywhere about a couple of months when I tried to come back to the salon or to the school. I would park on the side, start crying, and I would leave. I could not stay. And it was about 3 months went by before I went out, actually. And that was because I got a call from my son saying he had went out of town. Everybody was grieving in their own way. Mm-hmm. He had left town, and he said, "Hey, a reverend had asked." I remember when the reverend said we were doing FES, financial service. It was not financial services, but credit repair at that time. And he said, "Mom, he wants me to come over to the church to go over what we do. Would you go?" And I paused, and I knew I needed to get out the house, but this is how God worked. And I told him, "Yes, I'll go." And I went, and that's how I ended up in Primerica with the company that I'm with, and it helped me to put my head down, and it helped me to get through that pain, and I turned that pain into purpose and helping others and saying, "Hey, You got to have some insurance
Mm-hmm.
on your children. You got to have insurance. You can't just, you don't know what's going to happen. And I was in houses, Gail, crying.
Yes, and we're going to get to that part. We're going to get to that part. I wanted to ask this question if you feel comfortable answering it. With so many people, and I'm glad you clarified again for the audience the cause of Jamal's death or his passing. So, for the people that were the rumors, how did you handle that, or did you turn a deaf ear to it? Did it bother you at all? Did you feel that you had to explain yourself? How was that for you?
Well, of course, things like that hurt. When it's someone you love and you hearing things people saying and they really not knowing, they just one say it and another one say it and another one say it, they really not knowing, and they're not coming to me to ask.
Yes.
They're not coming to me to say what really happened. And some of the things that he may have been talking to some people, they may have felt like, well, what is he talking about? He's saying these things or whatever. And some of the things that he was saying, guess what, has come to pass. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like he was saying things that he was seeing some stuff that we can't see. And because that's why I said you have to be real careful, because you don't know where a person is coming from a lot of times when they're talking, but they could be in an out of body experiencing some things that you may think is crazy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna say that, but yeah, those things hurt. But at the same time, I'll say again, you don't really know what a person is going through. God knows.
Mm-hmm.
And when stuff happens, if that person did something to get away from here or to get out of whatever they felt like they were in, because he said that someone was following him. He had told me that, and I'm sure he told other people that. And we went through the thing of going to the hospital, talking to the people, and we did all that. We did that.
Yeah.
And so I'm at peace with it because I know God knows what we don't know. And I know that he will take my son into his kingdom because he knew who my son was when he was born, the day he was born.
Yes.
And we have to know that we cannot assume that what I hate about the whole thing is people just automatically say, well, if a person take their own life, they go into hell. Now, they might be going because they saying that. I don't know. But you don't say that. You don't assume that because you don't know the state.
You don't know the state
that person is in. I've heard so many things that, like with the football player, or he was going through all this. He needed the medication. Oh, he did these things. And another thing too, that question that you asked, I'm at peace because what I did say to myself, it could have been a whole lot different, Gail.
Yeah.
A person can be going through something and they take somebody else's life and their own, because I've heard that happening. So I'm thankful. I'm thankful that, God, you allowed it to go like it did. You allowed it to happen the way it did, because it could have been a whole different thing.
Karen.
Mm-hmm.
I like what you just said. We're at 44, 47. You're clear now, because before you were, is your computer plugged up?
Yeah.
Yeah, because for some reason you're getting blurry. You were nice and clear before. For some reason it's getting blurry.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And I don't know what you can do, but okay. I just wanted to make sure your computer was plugged up.
Oh yes, it's plugged up.
Okay. I'll get to that part. Yeah. 45, 26. Okay. So you mentioned you have two other sons, And how many grandkids? How many kids? Jamal had three grandbabies. I mean, three children.
Jamal had 4 children. He
Four children.
has, James.
Yeah, has
He
four children.
has four
Excuse me.
children,
Yeah,
four
has four
girls,
children.
and
Yes.
one of them works at the salon, in the salon. And and I'm proud to say that. So glad that someone took that up. And yeah, my oldest son has four, um, and two grands. So I have two great grands.
Two great. Wow.
and so that's eight. And then the youngest son, you know, he has one biological child and another child that he claims as his own too, because that's her sister.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a total. Then my oldest son just had a little boy, so my youngest grandson is 2 months old.
Oh, wow. How
He's
was
adorable.
I'll bet so. How was it navigating through your grief journey, seeing his brothers grieving their brother and seeing his children grieve their dad? How are you able to take care of yourself and offer the emotional support that your other sons and grandbabies needed as well?
Now that was hard. Because he was born December the 18th, buried May the 18th. My birthday, June 5th. Mother's Day was in May. And I did not want to hear anything about Mother's Day. Don't wish me no happy Mother's Day. Birthday, happy birthday. Oh, no. I did not want to hear that. I was actually angry at the time. So I had to realize when I had sons that saying happy Mother's Day or getting me some flowers or whatever, I had to realize real quick that wasn't your only son.
Mm-hmm.
You have two other sons that you got to show love to. That was hard, but I had to reverse that, what I was going through, to say, hey, they love me too. I can't just stay here. The children, they need you. And, so that had to change quickly. And through the process, I started Thanksgiving exchanging names, and we exchanged gifts on December the 18th, which is a week before Christmas, to still honor him in his giving and love. And that has become a very happy time for us. It's my children and their children and Jamal's children. And we get together. Thanksgiving, we pull names, and then we get together and exchange gifts on Jamal's birthday. So I would always suggest to anyone that has a loss, that especially a child, find something that you can do to still honor that child. That helps you to get through. It really does. It doesn't take it away, but it turns it into a happy time, just like Asia's hats.
Mm-hmm.
It helps you, and you know that you're doing something. It's like, I'm not just going to forget them. I'm not going to forget about them. No, you don't forget about them. You choose something that helps you to get through and still honor their life.
Still honor them. I looked up the number 18 because it's significant for you and your family. And it says 18 can symbolize the completion of one chapter and stepping into a higher level of purpose. 1 + 8 = 9, which represents completion, wisdom, spiritual awakening. So when we think about the completion of one chapter, it's not that we're closing that chapter. We just said we're finding ways to keep that, keep the person's memory alive, keep their legacy alive. But we're also stepping into higher levels of purpose because of who the person was to us, before us in our lives.
Right. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Now, you said something profound. You had 3 days to plan a funeral. You had to find the burial site. You found the church. 3 days. What would have happened? And we're going to lead into what it is that you do now. What would have happened if you hadn't had insurance on Jamal and you had only 3 days to plan his burial?
Yeah, I wouldn't even want to think about it. You know, that wow. That's a great question, because you saying that, and them knowing me able to give them that certificate, that for them to know the money is there, that you can plan what you want to plan. But if you don't have that, wow, you don't have time to do the fish fry. You don't have time to do. Some people set up GoFundMe's. You really don't have time to do that stuff. You got to have the money available right now. So that's really something I hadn't even thought about. What if I hadn't? Because I'm always out here talking to people about having it, but not thinking you can be in a situation like I was where you don't even have the time to raise the money. So that wouldn't be a good thing, because a lot of people are not going to do services for you if you don't have the money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
how
anybody,
important?
hey, do I need to give a number right now? These people.
Yeah, you're going to plug your insurance company. Yes, you are. So tell the importance of insurance. You just said it. You just said it. So for that person or the person that's watching now, that they don't have insurance for themselves nor on their children, because a lot of people feel if their kids are young, and we just said everybody is not meant to live to be old. Babies are dying. You just said that.
That's right.
And a lot of people don't feel that they need to put insurance on their infants, their children. They have time. But what you're telling us, what you just told us, there's not always time.
No, there's not time. The time is right now. You don't get any younger than what you are today. And the older a person gets, the higher it becomes, are the risks that you take of getting a health issue. Yes. And once you get a health issue, you may not even be qualified for it.
So how can we contact you for insurance?
My direct number is 803-322-0394.
And the website?
They can send the email I would give.
Okay.
Is Shabazz BSC @gmail.com.
Repeat that one more time.
Shabazz SHABAZZ BSC @gmail.com. That phone number really is the best way, because if you call and don't get me, you can always leave a message and I will get it.
Okay, and repeat your phone number again.
803-322-0394.
Thank you. Now I see trophies in the background. Tell us about those trophies.
Well, about when I lost Jamal, and I won't name companies, but there are companies out here. That's why I always like to share information about the company. You even give a presentation. I get on a presentation with a person. But what I found out was that company did not honor the grandchildren. So they say once the primary person passed away, which was Jamal, they wouldn't honor his children that was riding on the policy. I didn't understand that. I'm like, wow, I wrote for this company and you're not going to honor my grandchildren. So after it might have been about 2 months before I called and said, hey, what do I need to pay for the children that was riding on? They say, well, we don't honor them on the policy. That upset me. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to write for these people anymore because you need to honor the writers. So the company that I'm with now, they honor the writers. If something happens to that primary person, they give them a 25-year paid up policy. And then they could take over their own policy after that.
Mm.
So I thought that was great. And how did I find that out? When God pushed me out the door that 3 months, and I went to that church, the lady was giving the presentation, and I was looking for another place to write business. I joined the company and became a regional vice president. That's that trophy back there. And became a six-figure earner. That's where this ring come from.
Yes.
The company.
Do it again. Do it again.
So I
Let me
know
sing again.
I know that God is in it. And turning that pain into a purpose and just putting my head down, and it helped me through a difficult time. Just helping other people.
Yes. And you have another endeavor. You have a beauty school, Shabazz Barber Styling College. How long have you been the owner of the college?
Wow. Hey, I have to
time.
figure that one out. That's how long it's been since
Yes.
87. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
Because I started off as a salon. Then I turned it into a school.
Okay.
After getting instructor license, I had 2 students and that was training under me. Then I got so many calls of other people wanting to train. I turned it into a school so I can take on more students.
Okay. And that's where Age's dad went to school as well.
Yeah.
And he worked for you for a long time. You're doing something new with your business now. Tell us about your new endeavors.
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited to say I'm bringing on partnering in with Cameron Nicole. She is inspiration to me because, after doing something so long, the way you do it, you have to reinvigorate. You have to, if that's the right word that I'm using, I'm old school. And look, I'm not ashamed to say that I'm old school. Sometimes you gotta do some new things. You can't just continue to do and operate like she's big on marketing. I'm gonna say she's really
large
big
social
on
media.
marketing.
She has a large social media platform.
Right. And I call her influencer. I say you're an influencer. And she's bringing a lot to. I feel like she's bringing a lot to the table. I already have another instructor that joined me as well, Gloria Gordon. And when I look at the years of experience that we have all together, then my son Naeem Shabazz has bought. We have a lot of experience together.
And you said the word, I'm looking at the word also, collaboration. Because, at one time we always thought we had to do everything by ourselves.
Right.
But in this era now, we don't. Collaborations are really, really, really big.
It is.
With Cam being the younger person, she's hungry.
Right.
She has the social media platform. She has the presence. She has the marketing aspect. And we can't do a whole lot now without social media.
That's right.
If we want to grow, we have to be prevalent on social media. And then you have the professionalism. You have the innovation. You have the experience. And you have the wisdom. And Glow, she has all of those things and have all those things as well. So when you marry and merge all those things together,
right,
it's going to be big, Karen.
That's right. The sky's the limit. God is good all the time.
It's going to be.
And then Satan, when she said he ain't forgot about you.
Yeah.
That's what she told me. He ain't forgot about you. And she's right. You could be praying for things. A lot of times he'll answer it in different ways. And I felt like that was God sent. I really do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's easy to get burnt out after you've been doing something for so long.
Amen.
It
That's
can
the
be.
track I felt like I was on
Yeah.
before she
Yeah.
said, Miss Shabazz, no.
I think it's going to be good. I think you're going to help each other.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a collaboration. I think you're
Mm-hmm.
going to work well together. So for someone that's listening, the listening audience, if they want to attend Shabazz Barber Styling College, or someone that they know, how can they contact you for that?
Well, they can use that same number. We also
Okay.
have a school number that's 803-324-4511. That same email address that I gave is the same one. They could send the email. They can also contact Cam. I don't have her information right here in front of me.
We'll put it. We'll put it in the.
We can get them that
We'll put
information.
it
They
in the
can
comment
contact
box.
any of us actually about coming to school. They can even come to the school.
And
We're
give us the
located at
address.
218 West Black Street, directly across the street from the post office downtown. Pretty much everybody knows Rock Hill, South Carolina, and pretty much everybody know where that is. Again, that's 218 West Black Street, Rock Hill, South Carolina.
And you're also offering scholarships.
Right. And that scholarship is the Jamal Shabazz Scholarship Fund.
Yes.
Because he was 17 years in community service and does such an awesome job. And with him leaving, I had to come up with something too in the industry. So I put that out there. Hey, $5,000 scholarship fund that will come off the total of what school costs, which is $15,000 right now. And you have to write an essay on why do you want to be a barber stylist? Why should we choose you? And what are you doing in the community to help others? It could be in your church. It could be whatever you've done. Just, we want to know something about you.
Okay.
To see if you deserve that scholarship.
And one of the questions was, why should you choose them? Why should the audience choose Shabazz Barber Styling College?
Well, number one, I would say the experience that we have is over 100 years of experience. A lot of times we living in a world now where it's quick, microwave, fast. Everybody they don't really believe our young people in building relationships. Building relationships, that's your experience. We have over 100 years of experience between the four of us. That's the barber instructor, and that's the other two instructors, and myself. I have over 40 years of experience in the industry. So what can't you learn with us is the question, because we're going to get you world ready, not just, okay, you're going to pass the test. You're going to know what to do. We're going to get you world ready. That's one thing. And the other thing I like to mention is I'm the only school that you can actually build a clientele in school and move it right next door in a salon and work for that year, maybe 12 months, and go out and establish your own business. A lot of the people have done that. And you get to get a master license at the school. You don't have to do continuing education once you get that master license.
And it's almost like an apprenticeship. So they can leave the school, move next door, work, and they would still be under the guidance of the you to help them along the way.
Anything else that they
so many
would
young
need.
kids now, they want to get out of school. They want to go into a suites. Everyone wants to be by themselves.
Right. You can't learn anymore. You cut your learning off when you do that.
Yeah.
The suites is the fad right now. Everybody have to understand you need to be at a certain place in business before you go into a suite.
Yeah.
You need to be at a certain place in knowledge, skill, before
professionalism.
sweet. Professionalism before you get a sweet.
The open salon is the best place to start.
It is. And that's where they would be in an open salon once they finish school for just 12 months.
Thank you, Ms. Shabazz.
Thank you.
This has really been good. I have two more questions for you. What has Jamal's death taught you?
It has taught me to love more, to forgive quickly. Forgiveness, I'm going to say, is for us. And we hold on to things too long. And you're free when you forgive, and you can. It doesn't mean. See, a lot of times people think that is weakness, but it's strength. They think that, oh, you let this person get over on you. Oh, they did you like this. Guess what? God got them, just like He got me. So a karma is real to me. So if I forgive and God see me forgiving, when I get to heaven, He's not going to say, well, you didn't forgive so-and-so and so or something. I forgive them. Forgive them and move on. That's what His life is short. So love more, love on your family more, love the people that you love more, to let them know that you love them, because we don't know if today is our last day. And forgive quickly. Those are the two things that I've learned.
Yes. My last question is, this is the Gail Estella Survival Student. I'm getting ready to say my own hair salon. This is the Gail Estella Survival Podcast. Tell the audience 3 things that has helped you to survive.
3 things that helped me to survive going through my son's death. Is that your question? Or just survive?
3 things that 3 things that has helped you survive. Yeah, from going through his death.
Well, I would say prayer would be the first thing. Survival would be those things too that I just said, as loving more, forgiving, quickly. But prayer, it's almost like 1, 2, and 3. Prayer and prayer and fasting. I just went through fasting, and those things it has helped me to survive, I would have to say. But prayer is just number 1 on my list for survival. I don't know how people could go a day without just saying thank you, Lord. Just saying thank you. I thank Him for you, Gail. I thank Him for you. I thank Him for this platform. This means so much more than you know.
Thank you. I needed to hear that. Thank you.
Yeah, more than you know. Don't stop. Please keep doing it.
I will. Thank you. Thank you. I have so enjoyed this conversation.
I have too.
Yes. And thank you again. And my prayer is that everything you touch grows bigger and more bountiful than you could ever imagine. And you're on the right track. Just keep being who you are, and keep loving, keep forgiving, keep giving, and it's going to all come back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.